So it is officially day 5 in Algebra 2. It is Monday, August 11th, and your due now was just to start working on this worksheet. You were allowed to work with each other. You could have worked alone, and come up with any questions you have about the process of solving quadratic equations. So I went ahead and gave the discriminant formula and the quadratic formula just to help us out. And we're going to just start with number 1. So first, what we're going to do for number 1 is I'm going to kind of really slowly guide us through the process just as a reminder. And hopefully we can pick up the pace a little bit as we move forward. But please stop me if you're not sure why I wrote something or you feel confused. Let me know. Let me know. And I want to help. So let's see. Number 1, I have negative 5x squared minus 12x plus 65 equals 0. So in the directions I said to use the discriminant in the quadratic formula to solve for x. And the reason I say that is because when you break down the problem and find the discriminant first, it can feel a little bit less overwhelming in my opinion, instead of doing it all at once. So first let's find our discriminant. And we're going to be using that formula b squared minus 4 times a times c. And I will always recommend let's go ahead and label everything so that we don't mix things up. What is my value for a? Negative 5. A is negative 5. Your negative numbers are very important. What's b?
12.
Negative 12. Be careful.
That's why I get mixed up.
Ah. Yes, if you see a plus, it's positive. If you see a minus, it's negative. So.
Because see, you see how close that negative is to that 5?
Yeah.
That's why I get confused thinking that's minus 12 because it's not close to the 12.
Yes, but if it is minus a number, really, if you think way back to pre-algebra, it just means plus negative 12.
Okay.
So if you are subtracting, it's a negative. Minus 12, negative 12. If it was plus 12, it'd be positive.
Okay.
But anytime you see that minus, we call it a negative. And then what's our C?
65.
65, good. Okay, so I would always begin by labeling your ABC. And then we will very carefully plug these into the formula one at a time. So, b squared. What's my b?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. Negative 12 squared. Now I'm going to copy down minus 4
minus 5
times a, which is negative 5, good, times c, good, which is 65. Okay, so we have everything plugged in. Before we move on, is anyone unsure how I got any of this?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, go ahead. What part are you not sure about?
Oh, well, I missed a lot.
That's okay. That's okay. So all we did here is this formula is something that I give you. You don't have to have it memorized or anything. It's something that can just be in your notes to pull out for later. And kind of the hardest part, I think, of the process is just knowing what is my A, what's my B, what's my C, and where do they go. So this is, real quick, I'll move over to here. This is the standard form of a quadratic equation. There's always going to be x squared on your first term, x on your second term, and then no variable on your third term. And whatever number is in front of x squared, that's your A. Whatever number is in front of your x, that's your B. Whatever number is at the end That's your C. So you're going to find your 3 numbers just from the problem that they give you. And once you have those numbers, it's just a matter of looking at the formula where I see my discriminant equals b squared. Well, I'm going to replace b with whatever number is in front of my x, my b, the middle number. So in this case it was negative 12 because that was my second number. So that's why we put negative 12 for b squared. Does that part make sense?
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
Okay, you see it?
At
Good.
this moment, we'll see where I'm at.
Okay. And then the minus 4 is just part of the formula. That's always there. Times a. You're just going to look back and see what number did I put for a. Well, negative 5 was first, so negative 5 is a. So I replace a with negative 5. And then I'm going to look for c. And, well, c is 65, so I'm just replacing c with 65. And now I have all my numbers plugged in. Here, let's see. This is where they come from that formula. I don't know if that makes it easier to understand or more confusing, but. So, we have our numbers plugged in. From here, I like to just go from left to right and simplify. That's all we're doing now. So, first I have negative 12 squared. What is negative 12 squared? 144. Is this first number ever going to be negative?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Positive.
It will never be negative. It will always be positive. Why?
Because minus 5 minus.
Yes.
equals 4.
Yes, yes. Now, you might be thinking, Titania, that I was asking if b will ever be negative. Yes, it will, and it is right here. But anytime I take a negative number and I square it, I'm doing negative 12 times negative 12. And 2 negatives multiplied give you a positive. So this is always positive, this number here. So we're going to get 144. Okay? And this next part is the part that I like to say we should do it all at once. Negative 4 times negative 5 times 65. Type it all in at once on your calculator. If you get a negative number, you subtract. If you get a positive number, you add. So let's see. Negative 4 times negative 5 times 65. And we get, 1,300. Now, plus. This is positive 1,300. So, plus 1,300. That's how we got to there. Okay. Now, at this step where I have D equals 144 plus 1,300, is anybody unsure how I got either of these numbers? Okay, so we're just going to add them then. 144 plus 1,300, so yep, 1444.
1444.
Good. So my discriminant is 1444 or 1,444. Big number. Yeah. Okay, so have I solved my problem for x?
Yes.
Not yet.
No.
We found the discriminant.
Yes.
We did. Now the discriminant is 1,444, and we're going to use the discriminant
To find x.
to find x. We're going to put it in the quadratic formula. Now, here's the quadratic formula, and here's the discriminant formula. Look at what's the same. I'm just going to remind you again. We just found the discriminant. So we just need to take that big number and put it under the square root, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, and I hear a few side conversations. Are we confused at these tables, or are we just having fun? Confused?
It's because I stopped there.
Okay, you stopped there. That's okay. That's okay. As long as you got to here, that's great. We're now going to go through the next step. So if you got it up to here, you're golden. You're doing good. I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a moment. Okay, so here's what we do next. We found our discriminant. Now let's solve for x. I'm going to write my quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of, I could write this again, b squared minus 4ac, but we just did that, didn't we?
Yep.
So let's just put
144.
1444. Okay, is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there. Okay, so we just found the discriminant. We put it in there. I'm just going to write the rest of the formula. All of that divided by 2 times a. Okay. Now, one more time, I'm going to explain how come I didn't use this quadratic formula, and I'm going to get a different sticky note. And if you get it, great. That's wonderful. I want to make sure everybody else gets it too, though. Okay, so the quadratic formula, again, this is just something I give you. You will have this in your notes to use. It's not something you have to memorize, so don't let it scare you too much. As long as you have it written on a piece of paper, you're okay. So let me just write this. Quadratic formula. This is the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. Notice that in the quadratic formula, under the square root, we have b squared minus 4ac. It's the same. Do we see that? So, a simpler way to write the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant. Because we just found the discriminant, right? D equals 1444. That's why we're putting it right there. Okay? All over 2a. Okay? So this is what we're doing here. Some people don't like to do it this way. Some people like to just do it all in one fell swoop.
That's what I do.
And that's okay. You can do it other ways and still get the right answer. Finding the discriminant first, though, can just, help it not feel like you're doing so much at once and then you don't lose track of everything. So, can I move this over, or is anybody still looking at it? Can I scoot it? Yes, no? Okay. So, I'm going to scoot that here. So now I have negative b plus or minus the square root of 1,444 all over 2 times a. I need to plug in a number for b and a.
Yep.
So, back to the very beginning, the original problem. What is the value of b?
Negative 12.
-12, right there. So, I'm just going to rewrite this, but replace b with -12. X equals negative. b is -12. So, don't forget the two negatives, okay? Plus or minus the square root of 1444 all over 2 times, what is a?
-14. Negative 5.
-5. And again, we just got that from the original problem here. A is -5. So now we're here.
Negative 11 again.
Okay, so at this step, I think a lot of us get stuck. And we think, well, where do I go from here? There's really just 3 things that need to be simplified, we'll call it. Here's the first thing. Here's the second thing. Here's the third thing. Let's simplify the first thing first. -12.
Makes a positive 12.
It becomes +12. Is anybody uncomfortable with that? If you are, it's okay, I can talk about it. Anybody want an explanation, or we feel good? Basically, negative makes a positive. So, instead of -12, now we have +12.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus, we'll bring that over. Okay? Number 2, the square root of 1444.
38.
Let's put that in our calculator. And in case we forgot, how do we do square root on the calculator? Second, that's the blue button.
And then square Z.
Right here, x squared.
X squared.
And there we go. Now I'm just going to type my number, 1444, enter, and you get 38. Yep, perfect. So now, instead of the square root of 1444, I have 12 plus or minus 38. Done with that, I'll cross it off.
Over.
Yep, and now I just have this, over 2 times -5, and that is -10. Boom. Okay. Okay, so I'll stop for just a moment. And before we go to the next step, if there's anything you're not sure how we got, stop me. We can talk about it. Okay, we're almost to the end. Who knows what we do next? What we do?
You take 12 plus 38 over -10.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do 12 minus 38 over -10.
Good. So here's where we split up the plus and the minus. It just means that we're going to do 2 problems. So here's my plus. 12 plus 38 over -10. And my minus. 12 minus 38 over -10. Okay. So let's do our plus first. 12 plus 38, 50. So equals 50 over -10. And what is 50 divided by -10?
-5.
-5. Okay. So, we just found our first x value. We solved it. We just need one more, because there's going to be 2 solutions. Now, how do I begin this -1? What do I do first? Yes, Beachell?
12 minus 38.
Perfect. 12 minus 38.
-26.
-26.
Then you should get
Negative 26 over negative 10.
2.6.
Positive or negative? Positive. Just divide by negative 10, and we do get a positive 2.6. Good. Okay. So, I'm going to write my answer. Long process. X equals negative 5, comma, 2.6. Good. That is your answer. A lot of work. A lot of work for one problem. And you know, I thought I gave you enough space, but I really didn't. So, might do this next one on a separate piece of paper. My goodness. Yeah, I tried. Oh, see, you're nice and neat with it though. That's smart. I know, drawing a line, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've gone through just one problem. As we go, I'm sure there's going to be a million questions that pop into your brain. Make little notes or stop me. Ask me those questions. I want to make sure that we feel good. We're going to go through more. We're going to keep going slow. Okay. Before we start number 2, do we have any questions about number 1? Okay. Can I move this? I'm going to scooch it over, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to title this page as notes, just so I can find it later, because really what we're doing right now, as we go through the do now, we're doing practice. That's notes. You want to have examples of worked out problems in your notes, because that's going to be helpful later when you have similar problems on a quiz to see one that you already did. And let's just do our work nice and spaced out. Keep it organized. Take your time. Do not rush. That's when we make mistakes. So I'm going to title this Algebra 2, Unit 1. And these will be our day 5 notes. This is page 1. Okay. And it is Monday, August 11th. Okay, so I'm just going to write here solving quadratic, and I'm going to abbreviate quadratic equations, and in parentheses I'm going to write, just like the worksheet says, real numbers. And I write that because this way when you look back at your notes, you'll be able to tell the difference between where we're solving for real numbers and where we will be solving eventually for imaginary numbers. Those are things. Imaginary numbers exist. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna start, I'm gonna write worksheet number 2. And number 2, we have 6x squared minus x minus 117 equals 0. So, how should I begin?
You find your A, B, and C first.
Let's identify A, B, and C. What is A?
6.
6. What is B?
1.
Almost. Almost.
-1.
Negative
Oh, -1.
Yes. So, why is it 1? Why is it not X?
So the X
Because
is
X
in 1.
stands by itself.
Yeah, so remember, A, B, and C are numbers. X is not a number. A, B, the number in front of X, is -1. Here, there's A, it's 6. B, -1. Now, what's C?
-117.
Good, -117.
So we have to be a little different.
And if it helps, write it out separately.
Yeah.
You could say A, 6, B, -1, C, -117. Sometimes it helps just to separate it. Okay, so we have our A, B, and C. Would somebody like to raise their hand and guide me through the next step? Anybody? Anybody? I know you got it. I want to hear from somebody different. Anybody feel brave?
Is it the next step?
Yeah.
Well, you're just plugging all the info into the formula.
Okay.
The discriminant formula.
The discriminant formula. Okay, so next we'll use the discriminant formula. Thank you. So, the discriminant is, I'm going to write that formula again, b squared minus 4ac. And if it helps, put the parentheses. I think that always helped me. Okay, so plugging things in. What goes in the first blank? -1, my b. So -1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 6. Good. Times c, which is -117. Okay. So, we could say step 1. Identify A, B, and C. Step 2. Use discriminant formula. And plug in ABC. Okay, so I've plugged everything in.
Now you're going to simplify. Find your discriminant.
Yeah, now I want to simplify and actually find the discriminant. And I'm going to write, for step 3, simplify from left to right. Okay, so the first thing on the left is -1 squared. +1.
Yeah.
-1 times -1 is +1. So D equals 1. And then what?
You have to take -4 times 6 times -117.
Yes, and I'm going to write that out. -4 times 6 times, I don't know that this helped, it's right there. But, I'm going to write multiply, how about that? Alright, so, -4 times
Down to
6
808.
times negative 1, 1, 7, 2, 8, 0, 8. And this is positive, right?
Yes,
So, am I going to write 1 plus that number or 1 minus?
1 plus.
1 plus. 1 plus. 2, 8, 0, 8. Okay.
809.
And 1 plus that is 2809. Good. All right, so we found our discriminant. Discriminant. So once we have found our discriminant, we can plug that into the quadratic formula. So I'm going to make another note. Okay. How to find discriminant. And then how to solve for x. We're going to use the discriminant. So use the discriminant.
To solve for x.
Yes. I'm going to say use the discriminant in the quadratic formula. And that is, again, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root. And I'm just going to put d this time. All over 2 times a. Okay, so over here, I'm going to do that same thing. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant all over 2 times a. And then our next step is going to be plug in A, B, C, D. Actually, you don't even need C this time. There's only an A, a B, and a D here. You see that? Okay. So, I'm just going to rewrite ABC, just so I have it. A was 6, B was negative 1, C negative 117. So I've got it all where I need it. So, what goes where? X equals,
Negative 1.
okay, good. We're going to put X equals, don't forget the negative on the outside though.
Negative 1.
Yes, negative B. B is negative 1. Plus
B
or
is 53.
minus.
53.
Is that after you did the square root?
Yep.
Okay, okay. We're almost there. Not quite. 2809. Okay, all over
2A.
2 times A, which is What is A?
6.
6. Okay. So I have everything plugged in. And again, we're going to simplify from left to right, top to bottom. So I'm going to make a note of that. Simplify from left to right, top to bottom. So what I mean by that is we'll start on the top of the fraction and we'll simplify these two items, and then we'll do the bottom. Or I mean, some of you probably do it all at once, and if you don't, that's okay too. So x equals negative 1. What does that become? Positive 1. I'm going to bring down plus or minus. Now, the square root of 2809. 53. Okay, let me type that in. Square root 2809. Yep, 53. All over, yep, 2 times 6. That gives us 12. Okay, so we have simplified all of those items. Now we're going to pause here. And I'm going to let everybody get caught up. I'm giving you a lot of things at once. And before we move on, if there are any numbers you're not sure how we got, feel free to ask. Happy to clarify. I want you all to feel good about it. Maybe. I want to see how everybody's feeling. This is kind of what my plan is for us to get to where we're feeling pretty good about this, do some more practice on it. And then, I don't want to scare anybody. I thought about introducing the imaginary numbers today, but I don't want to do too much too quick. So, I'm going to see how we're feeling.
So what are we having on the test, or do you not know?
Well, I can show you while you're waiting. Let me pull out a copy of that. Oh, wait. I actually don't know if I have that with me because I gave Sylvia, the other math teacher, all my Algebra 2 notes the other day. Because she's making me a binder.
Because whatever we,
Oh, here's the practice quiz.
I say, because I think whatever is on the practice quiz is what we should be kind of.
Oh yeah, and this is on it.
Yeah, before we move over to the imaginary numbers.
Right, right.
Especially for the ones that haven't
So
really got an understanding of what we're learning
right,
now.
right. So quick pause, I guess, before we finish this. Y'all know I'm a little ADHD. If you get me off track, it's, yeah. I'm gonna pause this and show you. Alright, so now we have simplified all of our operations except this plus or minus. So, step 4 here is gonna be separate the plus or minus into 2 problems. And solve. So here's my plus or minus. I'm just going to rewrite this twice, one with a plus in the middle, one with a minus in the middle. That's it. So first let's do the plus. And I've got 1 plus 53 divided by not 12. Good. What's 1 plus 53?
54.
54 divided by 12.
You're gonna get 4.5.
4.5?
Yep.
Okay. 4.5. And now our minus. Okay. 1 minus 53 over 12.
Then you get 52 over 12.
Almost.
Negative 52.
Negative 52.
Oh, damn.
I know. That'll get you. 1 minus 53 is negative 52 over 12.
Ain't it negative 4.3?
Yeah.
Let's see, negative
Continue.
52 over 12. Yep, it is negative 4.3 repeating. Repeating means,
9 over 3.
yeah, you are going to get those 3's just continue forever. It will never stop giving you 3's. So instead of trying to write that out, you just put a line over it. And that means that it's repeating.
Doesn't matter if we put the line on the house above, put 4.33.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Really?
Yeah, that would be fine. This is the most accurate answer, but if you just put 4.3 or even 4.33, that's fine with me. And then, Natalie, what were you saying?
Doesn't matter if we put the line on the top or the bottom.
It's supposed to go on the top. I've never seen it on the bottom. But again, this, I'm not going to count you wrong if you do that. As long as you're getting, the right number, I'm happy with it. Good question, though. So our answer is 4.5 and negative 4.3 repeating. Yes. A lot of work for one problem, but the more and more we do it, the faster it gets, the less complicated it feels. See you, Stacy. Yeah, let me pause. No, you're good. Okay. Do we have any questions about number 2? Any questions at all? Okay. Well, at this point, I want to kind of open the floor. We'll do one more before I give you guys a break, because, man, we've been going already. So I would like for all of you to just look through that Do Now packet. There's 20 different questions. As you're peeking through, are there any that you're thinking look scary? I know, Ella, you pointed out,
There's a few over here that look like they're missing a middle number.
yes, there's a few that are missing a middle term. We can talk about that.
Middle term, let's see.
Like number 6 or number 10, maybe.
Oh.
Do we want to see one of those?
Yeah, can we see one of those?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there's no C.
So let's go ahead and flip to the second page of this worksheet and go to number 6. And I'm going to write it on my notes and we'll look at that. Yes.
Normally don't, like, when you do the quadratic formula, you're not using the C anyway, so basically you got an A and a B.
Well, you need the C to find the discriminant.
Right.
So you will need it.
But you don't have a B. You have an A and a C,
Yes,
not a B.
you're correct. And we're going to talk about that. Let me title this really quick. Day 5 notes continued. Algebra 2, Unit 1. And this is this page 2? Okay, I couldn't remember if we were on 3 yet. Page 2. Okay, so number 6 from the worksheet. I have 3x squared minus 27 equals 0. Okay. 3x squared minus 27 equals 0. So, we can identify our A, B, and C still. And I'll show you how. First of all, do we have A and B, or do we have A and C?
Yeah, A and C.
A and C. How do you know that?
Because this is.
Yes, there's no X. There's no X on minus 27.
Right.
If it was minus 27X, I would have an A and a B and no C.
Right.
But I have an X squared term. That's my A. So I'm going to write this. A is 3. Do I have an X term?
No.
No. So I'm going to skip that for now. And C is what?
Negative 27.
Good. C is negative 27. Now,
So wouldn't your imaginary number be an X or a 1?
well, if it was 1, we would still have an X there.
So what if it's 0?
Yes.
I would say it could be 0.
Yes.
It's not worth anything.
Yes. The only number that can make a term disappear is 0.
Yeah.
If B is 0, well, 0 times X,
It's still 1.
is it?
No,
It's
still
0. Yes, yes, yes. So, if there is no term for B, or for C, or for A even, then it's 0. So, I'm going to write here, B equals 0.
We'll do all of them like that.
Because there is no middle term B equals 0. Okay. And that's why I like to point out the standard form, the ax squared, bx, and c, just because I think that helps us to realize that it really is b that's 0 and not c. Okay.
So anything before the equal sign is still gonna be C, right?
I don't want to say that because 3x squared is before the equal sign, and that's a. Do you mean like right in front of the equal sign?
Yeah, right in front of the equal sign.
I wouldn't always go by position. I would go by what variable does it have. If it has an x, it's b. If it has x squared, it's a. If it has nothing, it's c. So if there's no variable, it's c. And we could even make a little note of that. Yeah, here, let's make a note. Let's make another helpful note. Let's see. I'm going to do this on a sticky note so it can kind of drag around. Let's use orange. So if the number has, or here, I'm going to write ABC. Make that straight. Okay. A, B, C. So, A is x is x. C, no variable. Just a number. Okay. So here's a little note. If it is on x squared, it's a. If it's on x, it's b. If there's no x, it's c.
Always.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And now we have a, b, and c for number 6. And we just solve it like a normal problem. So I'm going to move this over. And now we're going to go through the steps we've been going through. Let's find, well, okay, you tell me. What should I do first? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know. I want to hear somebody I haven't heard from. Kelsey.
You're gonna plug in your A, B, C terms
Mhm.
into the discriminant formula.
Yes, let's plug in A, B, and C to the discriminant formula. So D equals what?
0.
Yep. B squared, B is 0. So 0 squared minus 4 times 3, which is A.
And times
Mhm.
negative 27.
Good.
C.
Times negative 27, which is C. So if you need it, we can write the B and the A and the C. Okay, so we're going to find the discriminant first. So remember, there's just 2 steps here.
So it's gonna be 0.
Yep, 0. So do we even need to write that?
No.
0 times 0 is 0. Just get rid of it. Okay, get rid of it. And
324.
yeah, negative 4 times 3 times negative 27. You said it's 324?
Yeah.
Negative 4 times 3 times negative 27. Yep, that's what I got. 324. So my discriminant is 324. And you'll start to see how quickly you can find the discriminant. You'll get good at it. You'll be able to do it real quick.
That's gonna be 18.
Okay, so I've got my discriminant. Now, who can raise their hand and tell me, where do I go from here?
X equals negative B
Okay, x
plus or minus
negative b plus or minus
the
square root of d. Good, all over 2a. So here's my quadratic. And
It's 18.
let's see, x equals, yeah, negative b is just 0. Negative 0 is 0. So, 0. Then what? We're missing something after 0 before the square root. Plus or minus. Good. Plus or minus the square root of 324. All over what?
A 2A.
2a, which a is 3, so yes, it'll be 6.
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay, so let's start simplifying stuff. I'm going to move back up here, save some space. Okay, so Titania, what's the square root of 324?
18.
Yeah. Okay, so this is 0 plus or minus 18 over 6.
So where the 3 comes from, Angel, is your A. So
Yes.
A is 3.
2 times A. A is 3. so we just plugged in 3 for A. Yes, yes. We're always going to use A, B, and C from the original problem.
So now we do 0 plus 18
Uh-huh.
over 6, which is gonna be 18.
Let's see, hang on. Where is my green? There it is. Okay. So I have 0 plus 18 over 6, which is just 18 over 6,
You get 3.
which is 3. Good. So there's my plus.
Then you do 0 minus 18. 0 minus negative 18.
Is it negative 18?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's look back. Is it? We did the square root of 324, and that was positive 18 or negative 18? Positive.
Okay.
So we just did 0 plus 18.
Right.
Now we're going to do 0 minus
Minus
18. Yes, yes.
Over 6.
Over 6.
So 18 minus
Yeah, what is 0 minus 18?
18.
Almost. Negative. Good. Negative 18.
I knew it.
Oh, I thought you meant, are we writing
No,
0
I said
minus
yeah.
negative 18?
No, I said
Okay.
negative 18.
No, you're right. You're right.
threw me
I
off.
misunderstood you. That's my bad. So, 0, take away 18. Now you do have negative 18
Yeah.
over
And then you do -3.
6. Yes. Negative 3. Good. So, our answers are x equals 3 and negative 3. All right. All right. Okay, guys, I think we could all use a break. I really think we could use a break. So, feel free to stay if you're wanting to have a little one-on-one help. Absolutely feel free to stay. But, I'm going to say whenever we get back from break, I'm going to show you some stuff, okay? Let's do 15 minutes, so 2:28. 2:28. I will put a little sticky note up. Okay, so we've gone over a couple of these problems, and we can certainly go through more if any of you would like more. But let's see. I kind of want to show you imaginary numbers. I just want to show them to you. I think it's kind of cool. Is anybody opposed to that? I'm sorry. Okay. Oh gosh.
Only because I feel like my brain is just now processing this.
Right, right. How about we wait on that, actually? Let's wait a minute. And I want to show you something that's slightly more related. I want to show you where these numbers come into play that we're solving for. So, at each of your tables, you guys should have sticky notes that look like graph paper.
Nope.
If you don't, tell me. I can give you a pad. I've got plenty. You guys don't have one? Okay.
Right.
Come take one from me.
If I have graphic paper already.
No. You can absolutely do that. I'm just doing this so I can stick it on my notes. Algebra 2 unit.
This is some stuff my daughter
1.
had in her school supplies that she never used.
Aw, that's funny.
Like literally everything that I have came from her.
That is awesome. Okay. Day 5 notes. Continued. Okay, and this is page 3. And little sticky note. We're gonna zoom in. And I'm gonna draw an x-axis and a y-axis. Okay. Now I need a ruler. Okie dokie. Okay. Is this an x-axis or is this a y-axis?
That's why.
Y. It's a y-axis. Y goes up and down. So I'm going to label it. Now, we're going to draw the x-axis as well. And I'm going to label that. Okay. And I'm going to give myself some little tick marks all the way across. And up and down. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to one of the problems we solved together. Let me rip out my notes so I have it. Okay. The last problem we solved, we got x equals positive 3 and x equals negative 3. So, I'm going to write that problem here over to the side. It was 3x squared minus 27. And we found out that x equals 3 and negative 3. Okay. So, when we solve a quadratic equation, we are solving this. Y equals 3x squared minus 27. The only thing I did different is instead of 3x squared minus 27 equals 0, I put a y there instead. This is a function where anytime I plug in an x value, I get a corresponding y value. So, if I plugged in these x's that we just found, let's see what happens. Y equals, I'm going to rewrite the problem, but instead of writing x, I'm going to plug in the numbers. 3x squared. So, 3 times 3 squared minus 27. Okay. So, that's all I did. I plugged in my x that I found. So, I need to use my order of operations, and we're going to solve this. Think about PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add and subtract. What should I do first? 3 times 3 or 3 times 3? It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Right.
It's really like 3 cubed. So technically exponents would come first. Because if I do 3 times 3, I get 9. 9 squared is 9 times 9, and that's different.
Yeah.
So let's do 3 squared. So 3 times 3. Yes, and this is 9 And we'll bring everything down. So I have y equals 3 times 9 minus 27. Now, what do I do next?
You take 3 times 9.
What's 3 times 9?
18.
Almost.
36.
A little bit less.
Oh,
27. It's 27. Good. So, y equals 27 minus 27.
And 0.
Y equals 0. Ooh. Okay. So, when x is 3, y is 0. So, we just discovered a coordinate, didn't we? Uh-huh. When x is 3, y is 0. Let's do some colors. Okay, and we'll call this point A. So let's graph that. You guys remember how to graph?
Yeah.
Been a long time. My x value is 3, so where do I go first?
Count over 3.
Count over 3. I'm going to go to the right
Right.
towards positives.
Right.
1, 2, 3. And if my y is 0, do I need to move up or down or anything? No.
Same line.
It's going to stay right here. Bless you. So this is point A. And let's find a point B. Let's use the other x value.
So you go on the y-axis, you go down 3.
Now wait, we're going to solve for y first. We don't know y.
So we have
I know x is negative 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to use that original problem again. 3x squared minus 27. 3 instead of x, negative 3. Squared minus 27. Can you guys guess what this answer is going to be?
I did.
It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. Because we're going to do the same thing. Negative 3 squared. Well, that's 9. Same as above. So 3 times 9 minus 27. Well, 3 times 9 is 27 minus 27. So it's 0 again. We see that? So guys, when x is 3, y is 0. When x is negative 3, y is 0.
So we're just marking a negative 3 on the y-axis going down.
Not the y, the x. X, X.
So we're going over.
Yeah. So remember how with the quadratic equation, we're always solving for x? You're always solving for x. I'll call this point B. You're solving, and you don't even realize it, you're finding your x-intercepts, where the graph crosses the x-axis. So instead of going to the right 3, now it's negative 3. I'm going to go to the left. Good. 1, 2, 3. Right here, and that's point B. So these are going to be the 2 points where the graph of this equation crosses the x-axis. Now, I'm not showing you explicitly how to graph. I'm just giving you some context so that we know, what is it that we're even solving for. I don't want to teach you too much today because this is a lot. But if you want to, you can draw a rough sketch of what this graph would look like. We could also find the vertex, I suppose.
Yeah, I was gonna say we solved
So how about this? What is the middle x value between these?
That would be 0.
0. 0 is right in the middle. So we know our vertex, the x is 0. So we could probably solve for y by plugging in 0 for x. Well, let's see. This is just for fun. If you don't want to hear this, you can tune it out because I'm not going to test you over it. But it might be a bonus question, you never know. Y equals 3, let's do 0 squared minus 27. Well, 0 squared is 0, right? Times 3, anything 0, it's still 0. Okay? So, y equals what? Negative 27. So, that means our vertex is going to be 0 for x, negative 27 for y. So, it's going to be way down there. Way down there. And I'll draw like a break in the graph, and we'll say that's negative 27. And this would be our vertex. And we just shoot. See that?
Looks like a long finger.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So that's just a little for your info. It's okay if this isn't clicking all the way because I'm just showing it to you and I'm not teaching it to you as specifically as I normally would.
So this isn't gonna be tested or quizzed over
No.
at all?
Nope. Nope. This is just to give you a little bit of context, just so you can see like, okay, I don't know what, like, okay, great, I know what x is. What does that mean? This is what it means. It means that this is where it would land on the graph. So you don't have to know how to do this. I just wanted to show you what it is you're finding.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, cause, I mean, like, obviously, it's like we're finding coordinates and
Right.
stuff like that, but I mean, it is neat to see like what you actually
Right.
do with the information that
Right.
you're finding.
Now, I need to find like a real world example. I'd love to know where this is used in real life.
That's also what I'm thinking.
Now, I'll tell you what, I do know one example of where this is used, and it's in physics. Because whenever you throw a ball, the path of a ball is a parabola.
Okay.
And so you can use this formula to find things like velocity, speed at a certain point. How long do you think it'll be until the ball lands? I'm no physicist, I can't show you that, but ask Leslie, she might be able to tell you a thing or two about it.
That's what we're learning right now.
Really?
Yeah, velocity and speed.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's why I said like this, I'm learning her
Right.
class and learning your class at the same time.
Yes, yes, it is related. Kind of cool. That was why I liked physics in high school, because it was mathy, very mathy. Okay. Well, guys, you want an exit ticket?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna have you solve a quadratic equation using the formula. So I'm gonna make this for you, and you're welcome to wait for the copy, or you can write it as I write it, up to you. Algebra 2. This is your day 5 exit ticket. If you write this on your own paper, please write that it is day 5. It's gonna make my life a little bit easier when I go back and grade it.
So all of our do nows, do we just take this home and finish it, or?
Do nows are participation based. So
Okay.
like if you are here and you are working on it, you're doing it, great. You get the credit for it.
Okay.
You know, if you don't show up, you don't get the credit. But you don't have to turn those in. You can use them as extra practice if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. that's
Why did
all-
I
that's
write
what I'm doing.
tickets?
Yeah, the practice is, cause I don't do nothing when I go home anyway, so. might as well
use some white out. I probably will in a minute here. This one's almost dry though. Okay, so for your exit ticket, I want you to.
You have to walk it. It's still 5 months.
It's kind of the same thing we did last time. Okay, so find, or I guess solve the quadratic equation for all values of x. And the reason I say all values of x is because there will be 2, just like we've been doing. Okay, that is your exit ticket. Solve it. And I'm going to work on this as well, so if any of you finish it, I can check it before you go, unless you beat me, because I still got to run copies. But this will be due on Friday, August 15th at noon. Okay, so I'm going to end our recording there. That is it, you guys. And I'll run some copies.